Hello and welcome. In this video I'm attempting to make a vintage button I found on Pinterest. It's this 1940s yoke blouse. I'll be making the green one with short sleeves. To make this button I'm using the basic bodice and sleeve patterns. I'll leave you the link to the basic bodice video. This blouse has a bib with a yoke and gathers, a Peter Pan collar and a roll-up sleeve. The back is very simple, it has a yoke and gathers. I start by tracing the back bodice and extending 20 cm downwards, and from A I mark 24 cm, that's 1/4 of the hip circumference. Then I match these 2 points, and in the middle I mark 0.5 cm outwards and make a slight curve passing through the ½ centimeter. I'm extending the dart 13 cm downwards and match the points to draw the dart. This blouse is a little bit loose, so I'll make some changes to the bodice. The shoulder I extend ½ centimeter. The armhole I mark from the armhole point 1½ centimeters outwards and 1½ down, and draw the new armhole. On the waist I extend this line 2½ centimeters, and on the bottom I mark 2 or 2½ centimeters outwards. These measurements are depending on how loose you'd like your blouse. For the neckline I mark 1 centimeter down, so it won't be too tight in the neck. I draw the new bodice I'm going to use. I'm cutting this new bodice along the pink lines, and I'll be ready for step 2. I'm copying the new bodice onto a new sheet of paper, and this is the conclusion I came to. I'll explain. For the back, I mark 10 cm down from the neck to make the yoke. Then I draw 4 strips on the body, which I'm going to cut from the scissors downwards, but not cutting through the whole strip. So far, the back is very simple. Onto a new sheet of paper, I'm pasting the yoke and the body. I'm opening each strip and leaving 2 cm in between each one of them. I first paste the center part and then open the rest. I'm harmonizing the bottom and the top part to give it a better shape. To make the front bodice, I'm using the same back bodice I just transformed. I copy it onto a new sheet of paper, only up to the armhole point. The first part is very similar to the front basic bodice of the previous video. From the armhole, mark 4 cm downwards for the bust dart, then trace the rest of the bodice. Mark the bust point, that's 10 cm. From the shoulder line, trace a line that's 2 cm below. The neck in this case is 9 cm down, and make a round shape. From the neck point, trace a 24 cm line that matches the bust point line. This is the bust height. Draw a horizontal line passing through this 24 cm. To make the dart, mark 2 cm up and 2 down, and the waist dart is the same as in the back, 1½ cm to each side. Also, extend the dart downwards 13 cm. To make the bib, I mark 20 cm downwards. From what I gather in the image, the bib is a little bit below the bust point, so I believe that 20 or 21 cm should be alright. For the yoke, I mark 5 cm downwards, and along this line I draw the bib. I eyeball it, but 5 cm from the center should be fine. Then I make the round shape of the bib. I trace a line from the dart point to the middle of the shoulder line, and I'm going to cut open this part and close the dart to leave space for the gathers. I leave 1½ cm from the center of the bib for the buttons and buttonholes. This measure will depend on the size of the buttons. The waist dart I'm going to ignore. From the neck I mark 3 cm to make the facing. Now I cut the bib and the body. When cutting the body, leave some space to make the shape of the bust dart. To make this, I close the dart and with a tracing wheel I mark the shape. You'll end up with a sort of triangle at the end of the dart. I cut through the line where the scissors drawing is. When you close the dart, this part is going to open. This leaves space for the gathers. I pasted the parts onto a new sheet of paper and I'm drawing the seam allowances. To make the sleeve, I'm copying the basic sleeve from the previous video. This blouse has a roll-up sleeve, which is a very simple sleeve to make. Since it's a short sleeve, mark 20 cm downwards from this point and trace a horizontal line. From this line, mark 4 cm or 1½ inches down and draw a line. Do the same 2 times more. You'll end up with 3 parts you're going to number. Cut the sleeve but leave some space on the sides. Now fold number 1 upwards and number 3 underneath 1 and 2, like so, and cut along the line. When you open, you'll find the shape of the roll-up part. Now I'm making the Peter Pan collar. First I trace the neck, shoulder and armhole of the back part. From the shoulder point I mark 2 cm downwards. This is so that the collar won't stand up on its own. Then take the front part, in this case I'm taking the bib, and trace all around, matching the shoulder with a 2 cm mark. Starting from the back, I mark 5 cm all around, parallel to the neckline, and from the front I make the round shape of the collar. The notches are going to be placed, one on the front armhole at 6 cm, 2 at the top where you opened the dart, 1 on the center of the sleeve and at 6 cm on the front part. On the back, mark the notch to indicate where to start the gathering. On the fabric, I'll be marking the center notches. I left 1.5 cm seam allowance on the sides of the front and back, 2 cm for the hem, and the rest has 1 cm seam allowance. The pattern is finished. Next week, I'll be sharing the sewing process of this blouse. Hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching. Goodbye.